Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So, GSL Season 3 is about to start on Wednesday with the first group, and I was very excited to see the group draw. I even made that tier list video for fun because I thought, why not, let's fill some time. And I think literally the day after the groups were announced. But as I was looking through the groups and basically judging which groups were skewed and which weren't due to the system we use, there was some pushback on how no system can be perfect, so I decided, you know what? Reality itself got challenged somewhere along the line, so I decided the last two videos I did were opinion pieces, so to speak, or the equivalent of an opinion piece. So let's do a factual video. What you're looking at on the left right now is the Wikipedia standings, the ones we all look at each year before BlizzCon. So this is the Korean standings right about now. And the one on the right is the AfreecaTV blog, which got posted. That's where they explained how they came up with their tiers. So remember what I did. I used the eye test, results, and my personal opinion, of course, to create 4 tiers and basically come up with semi-seeds for the players. What they've done instead is use only tournaments they like, and they haven't even used the points correctly. So let's go with the very first point I want to address right now. So you can see on the left, Dark is ranked 1 right here, and Dark is ranked 1 on their book as well. Dark has 7,600 points on Wikipedia. That's all the points he's accumulated over the year, right? But on the Africa book, he only has 6,500. You might be thinking to yourself, well, it's probably just Katowice, right? For whatever reason, Katowice doesn't count because we've arbitrarily decided it doesn't for some reason. Nope, it's actually not that. As you can tell on the right, GSL Season 2, Dark has earned 5,000 points according to Africa. But according to Wikipedia, he's actually earned 4,000 points. So, where does this difference come from? I have no idea, and if someone can explain it to me, I would be very happy. In general, I don't understand Korean, I had to use translations to get it done, so maybe I overlooked something, but when I look at the same tournament and Dark has earned 1,900 points on one chart, and on the other chart, Dark has earned 1,300. Something must be wrong in my eyes, at least. In any case, this doesn't matter because Dark is first in both graphs, right? So, no problem at all, Dark is still number 1, nothing is going to fuck with the seeding. Well, let's look at number 3. Sue has 5,400 points, and obviously, a lot of them are coming from IM Katowice, remember, the tournament that doesn't exist, according to Africa. In any case, Sue is a tier 1 player, I think that's clear to everyone, and thankfully for them, Sue is ranked 8 in their tier list, so Sue still gets to be considered a tier 1 player for the purposes of the round of 32 group draw. So, once again, you might be thinking to yourself, well, no problem, Sue is a tier 1 player on one list, Sue is a tier 1 player on the other list. What's the issue? So, you're basically telling me it's not a problem that Sue was one slot short of being considered a tier 2 player. Sue was basically one slot short of being capable of ending up in the same group as Dark. That's not a problem to you. Okay, so let's make it worse, right? So, Hero is a tier 2 player, right? He's number 9, he's in the exact same spot Sue is, and what do you know? Sue and Hero have the same points. Well, according to Africa, they can use 2018 points to decide such scenarios where they have the exact same points. Once again, considering the fact their points don't match up with reality, let's say that they checked the 2018 standings and Sue is a tier 1 player, Hero is a tier 2 player, both of them have the exact same points of course, not a problem. Hero is ranked 6 on the WCS Korea standings. That's the standings that get used for BlizzCon. That's the official Blizzard standings, the ones that are supposed to actually count. So Hero actually just got screwed out of tier 1, and now he can end up in the same group with Dark, with Quasic, with Trap, with Maru, with Gumiho, and with Sue, because he got screwed by Africa. That's reasonable as well, right? In spite of having the exact same points in their flawed system. So let's make it even worse than Hero. Hero is a bad enough case. But let's look at another tier 1 player. Stats is only ranked 7 because Stats has had a pretty up and down year, let's say. So and so would be the nice way of putting it. Still not as bad as Zest or Rogue, but whatever. In any case, Stats is a tier 1 player, no one can doubt that in the Rio system. So let's look over at the Africa system again. Stats is ranked 16. Remember, 7 in the official ranking, 16 in Africa's rankings, because they only consider these 3 tournaments to exist. GSL Season 1, GSL Season 2, and GSL Super Tournament. That's the only ones that count according to them, and they can't even count them properly. So, Stats is almost into tier 3. Right now, Stats can end up in the same group with Maru, with Gumiho, with Tsu, with Dark, with Quasic. And that's okay according to AfreecaTV, because Stats is a tier 2 player in their eyes. That's okay, I guess. What about Stats ending up in tier 3? Because he was basically 90 points short of ending up where Ragnarok is. So you would mean to tell me it would be okay with Maru, Innovation and Stats being in the same group in the round of 32, remember, just because Stats is considered a tier 2 borderline tier 3 player, according to Africa. Reasonable? This seems like a great system to have, right? In any case, just look at the Africa points. The smaller sample size you have, the worse this gets. This is supposed to be the sum up of all the points on the right they've earned throughout the year. Obviously, it's even incorrect, but whatever, let's ignore that fact. Just look at the top 4 from last season. So I'm not sure if they do this every season, probably, I just haven't noticed. But they decide the top 4 from last season is automatically tier 1. So in this scenario it doesn't matter because Hurricane would have still been in tier 1, but Hurricane has 2000 points, Trap has almost 4000, and Maru has 5000. So Maru is considered rank 5, despite the fact he has more points than the 2 people above him. So exactly like my tier list would go, Dark, Quasic and Maru are the only S tier players. In any case. So Trap and Hurricane are artificially boosted, doesn't matter, because we have so few points to consider, they would still be tier 1. Not a problem, right? Here's where the problem comes in though. Look at all these points. They are so unbelievably close that the tiers just don't work. Rogue is considered tier 2, so is Stats, so is TY, so is SOS. These players are in such different form than fucking Innovation. How is Innovation still a tier 2 player? I can tell you how. He did fuck all at the Super Tournament, his Season 1 was garbage, and Season 2 he only got to the round of 8 because he had to run into Trap, who made the final. Meanwhile, Hurricane makes the semi-final, gets a lot more points, because he had to play Parting. Get me out. In any case, Innovation is a tier 2 player, right? So let's move on to the actual groups, right? So you would think, okay, we have our tiers, right? So here's what we're going to do. Dark is a tier 1 player, he gets to play against one of the bad tier 2 players, which would be Stats, TY or SOS, remember, due to this bullshit garbage system. In any case, Dark gets an easy tier 2 player, easy tier 3 player, easy tier 4 player because he is the number 1 ranked player, right? Actually, wrong! Dark and Trap get to pick one person out of tier 4 and they can put that person in their group. So Dark chose Bomber and Trap chose Tasia. Basically, decent enough picks. I would think Super and Dream are just as bad. So even Armani, to be honest. I don't know why I'm putting Armani on a pedestal. So they could have chosen any of these actual tier 4 players and that would be fine. But they don't get to choose anything else, and everything else gets decided by a random draw. So the goal of the group stage in the round of 32 is to have one tier 1 player, one tier 2 player, one tier 3 player, and one tier 4 player. And the only choices that go into it are the 2 finalists from last season who get to pick their one guy. So why is this a problem? Because random is always going to be and has always been a moronic system, and I'm going to prove it to you. So I'm going to use just AfreecaTV's own standings, and I'm going to pick 4 players and put them in one group. So let's pick our first player. I'm going to pick a tier 1 player according to AfreecaTV. Parting is a tier 1 player. Here we go, this is going to be my top seeded player in the group. So let's move on to tier 2, right? Tier 2, according to AfreecaTV, is going to be Patience. So Patience, who is a very up and down player, basically a yo-yo Protoss. In any case, Patience is considered tier 2, I'm going to pick Patience. I could have picked Rogue, but Rogue has better name value, and I'm trying to prove a point. Rogue can still come back, it's the end of the year, we know Rogue magic comes alive right about then, just like for Innovation. In any case, I'm picking Patience because he has lower name value and is the only bad player in tier 2 with worse name value than Jir and Rogue, who would be the other players who are lower skill right about now. In any case, we have our top 2 seeds, right? Parting and Patience are going to be my top 2 seeds in this group. Get me the fuck out. Next up, I'm going to put Alive in the group. So Alive is going to be my tier 3 player, not Impact who's been having a resurgence, not Zest who's a former multiple time champion, not even Sower who can still come back. I'm going to pick Alive. Finally, tier 4 is going to be Super, a player who has done fuck all in the last couple of years. So this is my first group. Parting, Patience, Alive and Super. 2 of these players can make it to the round of 32. How the fuck is that reasonable when you're going to see my next group? So, let's start over. Maru is my tier 1 player. So, Maru and Parting are absolutely equal according to this system, because this system only uses points, which are binary, flawed and stupid. In any case, Maru now is my tier 1 player, and what do you know? Innovation is a tier 2 player, so let's put these two in the same group again, just like happened last season. So, now it's time for a tier 3 player. Let's pick a GSL champion. Zest is going to be my tier 3 player, not Alive, not Keen. In any case, let's move on to tier 4, right? Let's look at our tier 4 players. What do you know? It's Scarlet, one of the best foreigners of all time, one of the most dangerous players to play against, even if you're Maru or Innovation. So, my first group was Parting, Patience, Alive and fucking Super. And my second group, which is completely equal according to this flawed, fundamentally flawed and moronic system, my second group, equal to Parting's bullshit group, is going to be Maru, Innovation, Zest and Scarlet. Get me the fuck out. Let's do another one. Let's not use these names because we already saw Maru and Innovation. Let's pick an easier example. Let's pick the GSL code as champion. Dark is going to be my tier 1 player. And what do you know? Number 16 Stats is going to be my tier 2 player. Do you think Dark is guaranteed to beat Stats? Because I don't think so, despite the fact they have 15 places between them. But here we go, we have our first 2 players. Next up is going to be Sower. Let's not pick Zest again. Sower is in for a resurgence here or there, so let's pick a pretty skilled player. ZVZ can be bullshit, we all know. So let's make this group as impossible for Dark as possible. And finally, let's put Special in. Dark should be able to beat him, but whatever, let's not use Scarlet again. Let's pick Special. I did such a big circle, I almost picked 2 players. Maybe that's how you take down Dark, you just put him in Archon mode against 2 people. In any case, once again, Parting, Patience, Alive and Super compared to this group. And you might be thinking to yourself, you're being a hypocrite, you're just picking the worst possible scenarios. That's what random seeding is. Random seeding means anything is possible. So the worst case scenario is possible. That's why you don't use a random system. So, to sum up this video, I would start with this message. Get your fucking house in order. Why the fuck are the points different? Why are AfreecaTV making up their own points? That would be my first concern. Second concern, why is a tournament part of the WCS Korean system disrespecting WCS Korea points? All of these points from IM Katowice count. We are judging results based on the entire year. It's bad enough we barely have any co-less seasons over the course of 12 months. We only have 2 super tournaments, which they count, by the way. They count Parting's top 4 after beating Ragnarok and Hurricane, but they don't count Dark's semi-final, or Su's fucking win, or Stats' fucking second place at IM Katowice, a much harder tournament to win than fucking super tournament. where you get a random bullshit pairing with Ragnarok and Hurricane, and suddenly you're a top 4 player in SO. In any case, that would be the first points to go off of. Second of all, people who say that, but random isn't biased, it's fair. Do you want to live in Two Faces world, where he flips a coin and shoots you in the face if the coin says you live or die? Because that's the world you're telling me you want to live in. Random is not a fair way, especially when talking about the most competitive tournament in the world, to decide anything, especially not the fucking tiers or seeding for the tournament. Finally, it was ridiculed by people who actually have no idea about esports, or Starcraft is the only esport they've known. There are actually people who think esports began with Starcraft 2. It's not even the first Starcraft game, get me the fuck out. In any case, there were a few people who ridiculed the idea of letting the players see themselves, or even better, letting experts such as Ro32, Tasteless, No Regret, whatever, you name any community figure with any measure of respect, to see the players instead of using these arbitrary fucking points earned off the back of one small sample size called a tournament over the course of 12 months. So, my idea was just let people actually see it properly and then use those seeds instead of trying to convince me stats can simultaneously be tier 1 in one list and almost tier fucking 3 on the other list. In any case, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This wasn't an opinion piece, I'm literally looking at the numbers in front of my screen. If that's not reality, I don't know what is. See you on the next video, whenever the fuck that is.